we go. All right, welcome. How y'all doing today? This is Josh from KeepItTechie. Today I have another special guest in the building. This is my 10th Tech Talk. Like I said, I try to bring people that have actually been working in the field, for a number of years to try to bring their experience and, we could just talk tech or whatever. So I really appreciate you guys being here. What's up, Professor Black Ops? What's up, Cold Tech? How you doing, man? Welcome. But as you guys know, I've been in the IT field for a number of years, working in different positions or whatever. And really the whole purpose of doing these discussions is just to, bring light to how to actually get into the IT field, if you got questions or whatever. So I really do this for, people that are, younger trying to get in or whatever, and they trying to figure out their way into the field. So that's why I do these videos. So I appreciate all you guys coming through, checking us out. But today's guest, I have a good friend of mine, Christian. He's actually Maddox12 in the chat. So he's been around the Black Brain Trust, which is one of the other groups that I kind of contribute to, and that's where I actually met him. And I've been knowing him for over a year, or whatever, and just having discussions about IT. So please welcome my guest, Christian. How you doing, Christian?
All in all, I'm feeling blessed today. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Let me make sure we got everything good. But the first thing I like to do is allow, the guests to introduce themselves, and give a little bit about their background in IT.
I'm Christian. I've been doing IT work since Windows 98.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Let's see. It started off with doing sales for a mom and pop company, and just worked my way up from there.
Cool. So anything in, like, did you, um, well, let me just go to this then. So how did you,
Expand. You
yeah,
want me to expand a
expand
little
a
bit
little
more?
bit. Yeah, if you can.
All right. I was a manager at a bank, and on the side, I always try to keep my side hustle going. I would do people's taxes or talk to them about like setting up a budget. Uh, so I got me a computer and I read like a computer shopper magazine. That's what we had back then. And I read up like, hey, if you get this, you can do this. Get this, you can do this. And I would start like, okay, I want to upgrade my motherboard to this to something a little bit faster. Did that, upgraded my video card. And it was pretty much just a hobby. I went to this mom and pop shop. Um, and they had like a ATX 2.0 motherboard out. And I was like, oh man, we finally came up with a standard for ATX 2, huh? It's got this on it. Nobody else at the computer store knew what it was. And they didn't know that there was like a ATX version 1. And they was like, you seem to know more about this than we do. You want a part-time job? It's like, yeah, I'll take a part-time job. So I worked there, and then I was actually making more money at the computer shop than I was at the bank. So I quit, worked there, and as stupid as this sounds, a bunch of like network admins will come in, buy the parts to build a server, and they would call me back a couple of hours after buying something and said like, "Yeah, that hard drive you sold me, yeah, it doesn't run Exchange." I'm like, that hard drive has nothing to do with the way you configured your software, dude.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't know how to drive. I didn't have a car, so they would pick me up after work, take me back over to their shop, and I was like, okay, Prove to me that my hard drive is causing this. And they would explain it to me. It's like, it sounds like you got this and this messed up. And we would try something different. I was like, okay, yeah, it's installing now. Hang on. I'll take you back home when I get through getting this set up. Now I'll just look over their shoulder and see like that's all it does is to take to set up Exchange. That's all it takes to set up SQL. So I learned how to do that on the side, watching other people do it.
Mm-hmm.
Then after a while, like doing sales, I like always do some research on different products and make sure I'm selling the correct thing. A bunch of the network admins start coming in, asking me like, "Hey, I need to get this and this set up." And I tell them, "Hey, this is what you need. This work better than this." And I had one guy that worked for the insurance company that's like, it'd be cheaper if I just hire you and have you in there with me and get all my stuff fixed. And he offered me a lot of money. I turned him down. I told my boss, like, hey, such and such is trying to get me to come over. He offered me this, but I'm going to stay with the company. And the guy was like, dude, I cannot offer you anything that much. I don't even make that much. And I said, nah, I'm going ahead and stay here. He came back a month later and it's like, and offered me like $10,000 more
Wow.
than that. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take it. I don't want to turn down that much money. The first week, he locked me in the office. He gave me, what were those books back then? It was like the back office suite.
Mm-hmm.
They had like, here's how you set up NT server. Here's how you set up Exchange. Here's
Yeah.
how you set up SQL. He's like, dude, I just want you to sit down. I just want you to read this. Don't do nothing else besides come out for lunch. Read this. Let me know if you have any questions, and then I'll show you the rest of the server room.
So you
Read
so
through
you
all
were
that.
basically self-taught.
Oh yeah, all the way through.
Yeah.
All the way, they used to have instead of there was dummies books and there was idiots books.
Mm-hmm.
I would read the idiot book, then I read like the Cybex book, and then I read the Microsoft book, and literally I would read them backwards. I'll read them forward, next book forward, next book forward, and then like I'll go backwards. I'll grab the idiot's book, and after there's 13 chapters, I start off with chapter 13 and work my way back.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, After I did all that, the insurance company made a stupid mistake. They went out of business, and I had like a year of actually doing network administration, but I had no certifications at the time. I had no degree at the time, and every time I went in to go do a interview, they would say like, "You don't have an A plus. That means you can't fix computers." And I was like, "I've been building computers and servers for like 4 years now. I know how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have a piece of paper that says you can." So I went back, grabbed a bunch of certification books, and I'd stay up. My dad does IT work too, and
Mm-hmm.
like dad would stay up all night Saturday night, like planning his week out, figuring out what he needs to do, figuring out the next step, trying to get everything going. I stayed up with him a couple of Saturday nights. I grabbed some certification books, and I was like, okay, I read 3 A+ books. I know how to do the A+. Next certification I would need to get would be the Network Plus book. I started reading A+, Network Plus both at the same time. I went in, then I took my A+, which if you already got experience doing it and you know how to fix a computer and you know how to troubleshoot software, seriously, dude, I was in there. Hardware, I was in there for like 10 minutes. Finished off all the questions, passed. Software, 15 minutes, finished off all the questions, passed. When I did the A+, I was in there for like maybe 30 minutes, passed that one. And then after that, I did the Server Plus, and then I started doing the Microsoft certs. And then like in 1 year, I had 8 certs in 1 year.
Wow.
Just staying up, studying,
Studying. Yeah.
grinding, doing the practice tests. Um, At the time, there wasn't like VMware.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had like 12 computers in my bedroom,
Oh man.
and I had everything like networked together. And I was like, okay, I need to hook up my Windows server to this Linux server. I need to hook up these two workstations up to this. And then I go in there and I talk to mom and dad. It's like, hey, I got this and this. Can I network your computer into the rest of my network?
Wow.
And I pull stuff up, and they're like, you got all this music out there? Yeah. And they can like sit there at their desk and play music, and they're like, how much more stuff do you got in the network? It's like, I got this, and this. I got this backing up to this. This sends me a report doing this.
Wow.
So everything I learned when I learned something, I tried to implement it. And then after I implement it, I try to figure out what's the best way for me to actually use this product and keep this product.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept building and moving everything up from there.
Yeah, man, that's
Um,
super cool.
After the insurance company, I got a job at a university.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "Hey, you got how many certs?" I said, "I got this many certs." And they was like, "Well, we need help like tutoring and explaining stuff to the students. So if you could help us with that, that'll work." And I was like the lab administrator. So if you didn't have a computer, you can come in and use the computer lab. And I just had to make sure all that stuff was up, and that was okay. And if a student came in, I don't understand how to do this, this, and this in the A plus class. I don't know how to do this. Okay, and I go in there and I would explain it to them and break it down. This is about the time when I forgot which hurricane it was, but this was like early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
We had a whole bunch of teachers that had family out there in New Orleans,
Yeah.
and they like got up and ran. It was like, I need to
Katrina.
go check on Katrina.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, I need to go check on my family, and they just like left.
Oh man.
And they were like, yeah, the teacher just left. We don't understand what's going on. I was like, big hurricane destroyed a couple of cities, might have something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, until they come back, can you like substitute this class?
Oh man.
And I sat there because we had nobody.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was gone. So yeah, I went in there and I was helping teach the A plus class, the Network Plus
Wow.
class, and Server Management class. And at the university, one of the benefits was buy one class, get another class free.
Okay.
So while I was there, this is about the time when Red Bull first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a crate of Red Bull. I kid you not.
Yeah.
Put that in the refrigerator, and I like stayed up and studied and worked and plowed through classes. My first semester, I did like 36 hours.
Wow.
I got cussed out for it because like you're not allowed to take that many classes.
Yeah.
I was like, I took a full load, which is 16, 18 hours, and I got another one free. So
Oh
I
yeah.
just took the other one for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I got 3 degrees, uh, network communications, automated office, and at the time we actually had a degree for help desk. I got all 3 of those
Oh man.
uh, within like a year and a half time. And then from there, I worked for an appliance company. The appliance company bought a bunch of computers from me when I was working at the mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
And when I lost my job, the guy that was running the place like, "Hey, I hear you're looking for a job." Like, yeah, I'm teaching at the university right now. And it's like, how much does that pay? About 15 an hour. He was like, I can give you a better job than that. So I quit, worked over there, and this guy had everything set up in just one gigantic work group.
Mm.
So I was like, he had everything set up. His deal was he had I forgot what version of Linux it was, but the accounting software was just a terminal. You just uh and it wasn't like Putty that we used. It was some another program called Anita,
Mm-hmm.
and all it was just Telnet. You
Yeah.
bring everything up, did your accounting work from there. And I was like, yeah, uh, it's okay if I make a couple of changes. There's like, as long as it doesn't cost too much and it doesn't like hurt the work, it's okay. I brought some of my servers that I had in my bedroom over, set up a little lab in my little office, and I was like, I'm going to take over the lighting department. I put them on Active Directory. I had fax services going, and I was like, hey, you don't have to get up and use the fax machine no more. You can just like send it for right from here, from your desk. And
Wow.
they would send out POs and quotes and stuff out. And then like the rest of the company, we were like in 8 other states.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, yeah, we heard that Christian guys got like fax services going. Can I get fax services on my desk too?
Yeah.
And my boss was like, yeah, I need you to put fax services on all the managers' computers. And I was like, yeah, that's going to be set up on Active Directory until I got everything kinked out of Active Directory. I'm not implementing that, so we're going to have to wait. I was like, well, hurry up. Like, okay, I'm going to need some equipment. So I start putting in super micro servers, actually moving over to a real Active Directory, and I said, we're going to do this store first, the store that we were like based out of. We got them all set up, got everything going the way I wanted for the first phase. Um, and my boss was like, okay, such and such's computer broke. I need you to put their username and password on such and such computer so they can log in. I was like, no, don't do the Active Directory. They just log in with their username and password. We ain't got to like micromanage every single PC anymore. He's like, really? It's like, dude, yeah, that's the whole point of going to Active Directory. And after he starts seeing the benefits of it, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, we're going to do this at such and such branch. We're going to do this at such and such branch. I want to say I got 3 branches done, and then we had a huge virus outbreak,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, do you got managed antivirus services? He said, nah, but I got antivirus on all the computers, and I was like, so I got to jump on every single one of these computers to have them scanned to check to see where we're at. He's like, well, I didn't know that you can like do central services for this. I'm like, yeah, dude, we can. So we went there, cleaned up one branch. We bought out a package. I showed them how to manage it, and then we just went from branch to branch. And it was like, hey, such and such got problems. We need to go over to Missouri and scan their computer. I was like, no, dude, here. Brought up the interface, right clicked on their computer, did a scan remotely, came back, dude, it's clean. We're good. We don't have to do as much traveling. We can like get this centrally managed, dude. After I got everything set up, managed, went from there. We started adding other pieces to the infrastructure to boost everything up, and we went up from there. Set up VPN so we like don't have to like actually go into the work.
Mm-hmm.
We can like actually work remotely.
So y'all currently
And then
working remotely now, right? Did it
no,
start because
that
of
was
the? Oh, and I'm
that
sorry.
that was that was a couple of jobs ago. I
Oh
quit
yeah,
that
that's
one
right.
and moved on over. I
Mm-hmm.
still do some subcontract work because they still have my super micro servers out there working.
Wow,
They've been about like 15 years going now.
that's what's up.
Present job I'm at now, I'm doing we take over most of the IT work for banks now, for the company I'm working with now.
Okay.
So instead of like if you was managing a bank, you would
Mm-hmm.
actually hire in my company and then like, okay, we're gonna like pull this server over to our private cloud. We're gonna go ahead and manage this for you. We'll manage all your back end stuff. And we get all that working. And then like if the president comes to you and say like, hey, I want to start pushing out this product,
Mm-hmm.
you come back, talk to the our company. It's like, hey, we want to start moving this and this. Do some research on that for us. We do all the research for you. We do all the project management for you. We come back, yeah, it looks like it's going to cost us this much. Best way for us to get this implemented is to do this, that, and the other. And then you just go back, talk to your upper management, and say like, hey, here's how we're going to do it, and we just slowly put everything out for you.
That's
I
what's
worked
up.
my way up from triage, just taking in the phone calls, trying to figure out where they need to go,
Mm-hmm.
to help desk. And then what we had what was called escalations. If the client was upset,
Mm-hmm.
they would talk to the escalations department, and we would take care of everything application wise, but networking.
Okay.
Now
So,
I'm
s-
actually
so let me ask
oh
you this though, with networking. Um, so do you need to understand networking fully, or like Cisco equipment, or I guess because I'm asking this because of a question that popped up in the chat.
yeah
I don't know if you
yeah I
saw
see
it.
Cole's text. Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Yeah, we do a lot of Cisco work. Cisco switches, routers. Not so much on their firewalls. We use a different firewall product.
And I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's all right. No, no, no. I was working my way up into it. And I was going to say like now I'm inside systems infrastructure where where I do take care of most of the networking now.
Mm-hmm.
I do go ahead like, hey, such and such needs this server with this specs. I go through Hyper-V. I set everything up, allocate the RAM, hard drive space, whatever they need, and then I give it to another department, and they set up the applications.
Cool, cool, cool.
But
So,
yeah, I do a lot of Cisco switching and routing work now.
mm-hmm.
I adjust policies on the firewall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing work on SANs, which is like a network storage,
Yeah. Yep.
and depending on the client, I'm trying not to be that guy, but so far I'm taking care of most of the Linux servers.
Okay.
I get
Yeah.
it, I get everything set up, pushed out, set up for them, and they're like, okay, you got a department that's going to take care of this because we don't technically take care of this for you.
I got you. Yeah, cause I remember you
Oh yeah, I
you
hit you up.
contact me, yeah, a while back. And I was able to help you out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like my first Linux experience was like with SUSE Linux.
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, man, just go to IP tables and change this to this. Now it's like, no, we change this to this, and this is new. And instead of doing it this way, we do it this way. I'm like, man,
Yeah, so
I
let
need
me
to keep up with this.
let me ask you this though. So uh this is one of the questions I typically ask, but um like if someone was trying to get into do what you do, like where should they
Mhm.
start in your opinion?
If it was me starting all over with the knowledge I have now,
Mm-hmm.
first thing I would probably do is go out and get a mentor
Yeah.
and say, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing blah. Like right now, a couple of guys in my department said they want to start working in cybersecurity. And I was like, okay, all right. And they said, will you join our study group? I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm always down to learn something. If I can learn with more people, I'm down. I'll jump in. Uh, Before then, I didn't have a Twitter account,
Mm-hmm.
but like everybody, like I followed on YouTube or you look at the Udemy, they also like, yeah, man, check this out on my Twitter. I'm like, God, I got to set up another social media account just to figure out what you're doing. So, so I started getting on Twitter, but I found out a whole lot of other cybersecurity professionals on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
that there's if I can give out a shout out, please.
Go ahead.
Alpha Cybersecurity.
Yeah, I think I follow him as well.
I'm getting my budget put together, so like, hey, can you train me on this? I went to his website. I got my Kali Linux uh, VM set up.
Mm-hmm.
I joined Blacks in Cyber,
Okay.
and they have a couple of capture the flag uh, get, programs that they run.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, all right, let me go ahead and get to work on this. And real quick, before I had after I got my associate degrees and I started hanging out with the Black Brain Trust, and they're all talking about Udemy, Coursera, edX classes. Uh, Another quick shout out. Uh, Lionel was upset that everybody kept saying that you guys don't know about blockchain. You guys don't have this. You don't have that. And he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and take some of these classes and get some of these certificates. Who else in with me?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll jump in. Anybody that's got a study group, I'm almost gonna be guaranteed to say yes to."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, did that, took a couple of classes, got a better understanding of blockchain, got a couple of certificates. And I was like, man, I'm gonna try to get me a one of these degrees on here. And I got a degree from Colorado University in cybersecurity.
Okay.
It was like you take a class and it's like how do you do basic updating and patching on Windows? How do you do basic updating and patching on Linux? So I went in there and I did all that. And then, like, for the final, it was like, okay, hack this box 3 different ways. Write up an entire document on how you did it, what was broken, turn that in. After you turn that in, you have to read 3 other classmates on how they hacked in,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to write up on each way how would you prevent this from happening, and
Okay.
then turn that in. Oh yeah, that was fun. I love that.
Yeah, that's I never really got into it, man, but I've always been interested in cybersecurity and hacking and stuff. So I understand some of the programs. I've used Kali Linux. I've used a lot of the tools just playing around with it.
Hmm.
But I never, did any of those hack the boxes because I know it's like another website out there where they have boxes set up with a whole bunch of different vulnerabilities, and then
Yep.
yeah, you can try your luck, trying to break into it.
Right.
So that's
Now the
cool.
one we had for the university was like easy and basic.
Hmm.
Some of these ones that they have in uh, some of these competitions,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they may not have the latest update. They might like be a couple versions back.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I could play with it, but I'm blind. I figured I go get a mentor. I go hit up when I get the money, hit up Alpha Cybersecurity, have them mentor me. First thing I would do, first getting in, I get a mentor.
Hmm.
Second thing I would do, I get a study group. If you're like trying to get a certification or a degree, start hanging out with them. And then most important thing, get a lab.
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
tell you how many people don't have a lab, don't have anything to like practice their trade with.
Hmm.
And some of the guys I hang out with is like, hey man, I can't afford that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let me ask you this question. How many football players have a gym and a trainer so they can practice and get better at doing what they're doing? Well, yeah, they got a lot,
Pretty
but they
much
got
all
money.
of them.
It's like, yeah, but they still got somebody to help them improve their skills.
Yep,
You're gonna have to like go ahead and get you a cyber gym, dude, and get that set up. After they
exactly.
see it that way, they're like, okay, yeah, I gotta get a lab.
Yep, exactly. You gotta, keep working on your in your field. Yeah, well, learning, in your field. So having a lab set up is very important. You know what I'm saying? So you can, cause well, I learn. That's how I learn. I have to have hands on, even though it's
Yeah,
virtualized. But I have to actually do it. I can't just read a book. I actually have to do it in order for it to, set in my mind how it actually works. And so, yeah, that's 100, man. I definitely agree with you. But so one of the things I wanted to, I guess, because you kind of brought up a few of the things, but like, how do you keep your technology skills current? Are you still like going towards newer certifications or continuing
um,
education or?
the job I have right now, if you want to raise,
Mm-hmm.
go get a certification, and they'll pay you like another $1,200 a year per certification that they have on their list. And one of the certifications they got was a 2016 server. If you get your MCSA, MCSE,
Mm-hmm.
we'll pay you for each one of those certs. So I'm trying to hurry up and get my MCSA for 2016 right now because that's going to be retired at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get that, and then I'm going to start grinding out on my Cisco's. I had a GNS3 lab set up. I need to run some updates and make sure my images are still good. But I'm going to try to get out 2016 server first, and then I'm just going to have like a pure networking lab of routers, switches, firewalls, and I'm going to like really hit that hard. And depends on what all I need to set up a cybersecurity lab. I'm going to go ahead and get that set up too.
Yeah, you can
So,
oh, go ahead.
no, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, most of that stuff can be virtualized. So, for
Oh
the
yeah,
yeah, for the lab, I don't know if you. I think you told me you still have hardware at the house, right? That you run, as far as like servers go, or
I got two Hyper-V servers
okay.
because I needed two to play with at my job. I got a pretty beefy workstation,
Mm-hmm.
and for the longest, before I moved up to Windows 10, uh, I was running everything through VMware Workstation,
Okay.
the professional.
Okay.
Yeah, I had everything set up through that, and I'm almost used to that type of environment. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with Hyper-V, and it's free now if you get Windows 10 Pro. But I was just because I've been doing this for so many years, used to VMware Workstation. I'm thinking about upgrading my computer again to that B55 B550 chipset.
Mm-hmm.
Get 128 gigs of RAM and put VMware back on there again and run a bunch of my VMs on my workstation again. Thinking about it.
Yeah, because with that cybersecurity training, yeah, all you got to do is really you could do
Download a
set up
Metasploit
those.
VM.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. You get to go. So let me ask you this: I know you got degrees and I know you got certs, but which one would you recommend people to get into first, or should they just start working towards both? You know.
Figure out which one's better for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my biggest obstacle was HR department.
Mm-hmm.
First couple of people was like, "Yeah, you don't have A+, you can't do this job." I'm like, "I already got experience. I know how to do that." But to the HR department, if you don't have this cert or you don't have this degree, they don't want to like deal with you. As soon as you get in the door, like my manager's like, "Yeah, man, if we can get like this cert and we just tell the client, hey, I got this many MCSAs on my team, it'll make us look a whole lot better." Okay, cool. Doesn't mean I can't do the job. It's just that this looks better to the customer. This looks better to the client. We need to get this. So I think the biggest obstacle is like getting past the HR department. If the HR department says like, hey, you got to have a degree in computer networking. If you really want to work for that company, get a degree. But most managers, a certification is all they need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's my experience too. The certification, in my opinion, is starting to be worth somewhat more than the degree, unless you're going
Yeah.
for like government jobs where it's written as required
Yeah.
in the job description. But yeah.
Uh, my wife, she works for the state,
Hmm.
and she's got like 8 degrees.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, why don't you just get you a certification? And they're like, my job really doesn't care about certifications.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, that makes no sense, but all right, whatever. But it's the people that's in charge. They understand degrees, so hey, if you got a degree in this, we know you can do the job.
Hmm. And a lot of times HR be copying and pasting for the job
Man,
description.
yeah,
They'll just
I
research
went,
it and grab. Go ahead.
I went on an interview, And they said like, yeah, do you have 5 years of experience with Office 2019? I was like, that came out like last year.
Yeah, you can't. Dude.
I was like, how am I supposed to have that many years of experience with something that came out last year? Well, it's just a version number, and it's like, yeah, technically, but it came out 2019, and we need how much more experience in Office? Well, we own 5 years in Office. You own 5 years of Office. I got 5 years of Office, but not this version. Oh, okay, all right, all right.
Yeah, they bad, man. They probably copied that sentence from another job description that had like 2016 on it or something,
Yeah,
and and just
they just
updated the
they just
date.
updated.
Yeah, but so yeah, so that's what I was gonna get to. You kind of touched on it earlier, but my channel is all about Linux, so you know what is your experience working with Linux? Which I mean, I know you touched on it earlier. You do work
Yeah,
with it, you know what I'm saying? But how important is it? I guess.
it just depends on what client I'm dealing with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of guys were like, "Okay, you want me to? Hey, I want a Ubuntu box setup. Okay, cool. 20 just came out. You want me to go ahead and put 20 on here? No, I want 18. 20 ain't been out here long enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
This got holes. 18's been tried and proven. All right, I'll get that hooked up for you. Add this, and this for me. Cool. Get it all set up. Have them check it over. Is that what you wanted? That's what I wanted. Let me get one of my dev guys to come in, take a look at it, and see if there's anything else that he needs. Then I talk to that department, add whatever else that they need. Like, all right, we got everything that we need set up. All right, I set it up for them, lock it down. It's all yours.
Now let me ask you this: do you do a lot of your development or setting up servers? Do you do a lot of it in the cloud now, or is it
The company I work for, we are a private cloud for other companies.
okay?
Um, Depending on what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can't have your information overseas.
Okay.
Now, if you you hired us, yes, in the United States, we don't have it backed up anywhere else but the United States.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
we're technically are a cloud. So yeah, we just do everything inside our data centers.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's cool. Now, programming languages. Do you know any, and do you recommend anybody, or what people should learn?
I'm trying to learn Python
Mm-hmm.
now, and is it Tensor? That's the deep learning.
Oh yeah, Tensor. I've
Uh,
heard. Yeah, I've heard of it.
I'm thinking about playing with that. Since those new NVIDIA cards came out, the 3090's got like 24 gigs of video RAM.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, you could like process and compile pretty quick with something with that much power on it. I'm thinking about it because I know the world's getting ready to go that way, and I need just a little bit of experience of going into that. So one I'm looking at is Python, and Python's damn near universal everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh, Mostly, I want to say about 85% of the work that we do at my job now is all Windows, and we do a lot of PowerShell scripting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to like learn and get a better handle on those two. So right now, Python, PowerShell is the two things I'm hitting up right now.
Yeah.
I'd like to get really good at Python, but I got to find time to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely agree with you on PowerShell. So if anybody out there trying to get into, managing Windows servers and systems administration, you need to learn PowerShell because PowerShell can basically do everything. Um, you know, you could do things remotely via PowerShell, on multiple
Yeah.
servers. So PowerShell is very powerful, like the the name. So, but
Got any more questions? Like the SD-WAN bit?
um,
I haven't played too much with SD-WAN. Something that's on my list to get done and worked on, but not as much. I feel comfortable doing a comment on. That's
Hmm.
for Coles Tech.
Yeah, yeah, me neither. Yeah, I haven't messed with it. Um, Hold on, let's see. So, let me ask you this: do you think um, automation? Because everybody's kind of worried about automation. People losing their job and stuff. What are your thoughts on that impacting IT jobs, or if they will, or do you think they will create new jobs? Because that's where I'm leaning. That I
I
think it
think
will. Go ahead.
I think we're going to be moving. Like once we start setting up virtual servers, you can buy one big server and run 20 virtual servers off of it. And
Yeah,
people start panicking. We don't need that many server guys. Yeah, but you still need someone to set up the VM.
yeah.
So it is converted over. So when automation comes out, I think it's going to be more of like, hey, I don't do this anymore, but now I got to proofread the scripts. I got to proofread the program, and if I find a flaw in there, I got to figure out a better way of patching it or working around it. I think we're just going to like move from. We're not going to be doing as much in this area. It's going to be more in this area, and you just got to be able to move with it.
Hmm.
As
Yeah.
much as I would love to, I'm not going to go back to Windows NT4.
Exactly.
I just had I had to learn to go to Windows 10. You just had to like move everything on over.
Hmm. Yeah. Have you worked with Ansible? Because that's one of the things I've been trying to learn recently. I took a course on it a while back, but it doesn't stick. Everything don't stick until you actually use it. But have you
Until you
have you?
apply it, yeah.
Yeah, apply it. Yeah.
Uh, no. I would like to,
Hmm.
cause like I'm just now playing with Dockers.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh, I got I got Pi-hole and a Docker,
Hmm.
and like I got all that set up. It's like, yeah, we're gonna like no longer have this. Oh, cool, it's working. Wife and kids were all like, man, did we get faster internet? I was like, no, we just stopped as much ads coming in. It's
Hmm.
actually saved us some bandwidth.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I still have to like go in and have to like run updates. I was like, yeah, I need to get this scripted. I need to get this set up. And then one of the guys with my job was talking about that he's got a maintenance docker that actually goes out to all the servers, make them run the updates,
Hmm.
comes back, emails out a report. And I'm like, man, I need to get to work on Docker. And then like when you hear about Docker, and then it's like, oh man, you can like automate this with like,
Yep.
okay, if I could just like get in the door,
Hmm.
learn a little bit at first, then I can like add on Ansible and Puppet and
Yeah.
everything else that goes along with it. But I gotta get in the door first.
Yeah, because Docker is super fun. I've played around with it. Just setting it up. I actually have a video on Docker, just showing people how to actually set
Yeah,
it up. It's
yeah, I
yeah,
watched
it's
it.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting to learn that because you can run commands, just on the Docker, and you can call the commands. So, and it'll spin up the instance just to run that command, handle the task, and then kind of go back into like us waiting for another, uh, for it to be activated again. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real quick. Coles Tech keeps hitting us up with questions. Um, I have a couple of clients that do have AWS and Azure servers out in the cloud that we do set up Fed services to connect to. And Mike V put out between our email groups that we had, past tense,
Hmm.
uh, like a challenge that like, hey, you can get AWS or Cloud Cert in 6 weeks. And I got a couple of kids I mentor on the side. I passed it out to them, and I was like, okay, let's see if we can get a cert in 6 weeks. Uh, I didn't go out and get the cert yet, but I did study with them on AWS. I had a couple of clients that said like, hey, I got this and this server set up in AWS. I need you to set up a connection and lock it down. Where I had to set up a VM for our servers. I had to set up uh, a trust from the AWS uh, directory services to their internal Active Directory services, set up all the DNS and everything up for them. So yeah, that little bit of challenges that Mike was putting out and mentioned, again, shout out to the Black Brain Trust. Uh, I took the challenge because I can't help myself, and and I learned how to do a little bit of AWS, a little bit of Azure, and now like, hey, they want this happening. Like, oh yeah, I could do that. That's easy. Just do this, and the other. Yeah, Christian, go ahead and take that project. Go ahead and get that done, working for us. And like a couple of days, I was like, hey, here's what I need your guys to do on this side, and I'll get this and this set up on our side. I got everything going. They thought like it was gonna be like a month long project. I was like, nah. You know both sides of the system, it's not that hard.
Yeah, and I just went on and put the Black Brain Trust's link in the chat. So if anybody curious on who the Black Brain Trust is, that's their channel link. They do a lot of videos on, you know, fourth industrial revolution, like tech, economics. They even do streams on like the cannabis industry. So just check them out, you know, if you guys are interested in it. So go on, plug
And we
those
do
guys out. Yeah, they do
we
some
also
great
do stock
content.
analysis too.
What's that?
Used to be Fridays we did stock analysis too
Yeah, yeah,
with Dollar Will.
yep,
Wait, man, we did a lot.
yeah. And they've been kind of slow on the videos lately. I think they
We took a
working
break.
on getting it. Yeah, working on getting it back up. So, you know. Yeah, but if anybody have any more questions for Christian, um, go on and put them in the chat.
Real quick, Professor Black Ops, thank you. Coles Tech, great questions. Uh, Engineering Cannabis, love listening to you on different panels.
Oh yeah,
I learned a lot from you. Who else we got up in here? Lowcast, what's up?
yeah. What's up, Lowcast? Q497. What's up, man? Definitely appreciate you guys coming by. So yeah, if anybody has any questions though, you know, just drop them in. Otherwise, we gonna go on and shut it down. You know what I'm saying? This
Uh,
was a great discussion, man.
real, real quick,
Go
if
ahead.
you get a workstation, not a computer, a
Mm-hmm.
workstation, there's a difference. Get you a decent sized workstation. Uh, you don't have to pay for like VMware Workstation. What is that? There's VM Player.
Or
What's
virtual
the other one?
box.
VirtualBox.
Yep.
Yeah, you can get that, and if you got something that's got enough memory to run all your machines, you can set up your lab on one computer. You don't have to like go
Yep.
out and like, hey, I'm going to build up this server. I'm going to set up this server. You can like set up everything on a decent workstation, not a PC, and you can just start grinding out certs, set up your lab, getting everything to going. Because like, yeah, when you actually go in there and you do the work, it makes a difference as opposed to reading up on it and then like hoping that your job's got a lab. Because like every one of my IT jobs that I worked before in the past, there was no lab. There was nothing for us to test our stuff out on. I had to go home and do that myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something I've always had to do too. Like well, it was one job though. I worked for a school here in Las Vegas, where they were it's basically high tech. No, not high tech institute. What was the name of that school? I forget what the name of it is, but it went out of business. But anyway, it was a startup of a school, and they were going to be teaching um, like event planning and event style setup or whatever, like setting up the lighting and setting up the the mics and setting up and as well as the computer side of it, setting up the systems that ran everything. Well, anyway, I managed the whole network at that company, and so I was able to. This was my first time actually setting up servers from the ground up, because they had some old servers that were there. They upgraded to some new Dell Blade servers, and I got to set up a full network. A full all the systems, the domain controllers, the Exchange server, all of it from scratch. And that was a real cool project. So that's um that's one time I was able to actually set up a network, at the job site. But most of the time it's been, me setting up stuff at the house. So I definitely agree. All right. You see that question, Christian?
Yep.
It
I'm typing
says,
in now.
okay.
Uh, Type 2, like Hyper-V on Windows 10 or VMware Workstation for a lab if it's just you. But yeah, most of them's going to be like where I've been exposed to. Type 1 is just a like server dedicated to that, to setting up to actually running virtual machines on, like a VMware. Yeah,
Now let me ask you this, Christian. How important do you think um, having a network is? Because I mean, I see you on Twitter, and yeah, you interact with a lot of people. How important is that, um, as far as staying abreast of uh, the emerging tech? You know.
it's it's really important because like you never know when it's going to like hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather just have it come up like, hey man, we moved a whole bunch of our servers to AWS. Oh, okay, all right, yeah, I can plug into that, as opposed to just getting hit by a bus. Like, bam, hey, we got AWS. What are you gonna do? Uh, yeah, yeah. Give me a couple of months, and I'll see what we can do. I'd rather just be like ready.
Mm-hmm.
Um, now, real quick, I before moving up to the position I have now, I didn't really do that much work with Cisco hardware. I was doing the stuff like GNS3, packet tracer,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Like, okay, I need to learn how to do this command. I need to try to troubleshoot this. We had a guy pissed off because we logged in, can do everything on the router, check everything, but we can't get a couple of things to plug in right. And then I forgot what the error was, but I was like, I have no idea what the hell that is. And the director of our department was like, this punk didn't plug it in. I was like, how can you tell? That error means that there's nothing connected. Like, and I was like, dude. And I was just grinning. And the director's like, man, why are you smiling so hard? And I was like, dude, as much stuff as I do in GNS3 and stuff in Packet Tracer, I can't tell that error because it's all virtual. You connect the line to it. All right, this is connected this way. Go. Okay, now I got to go troubleshoot the network. Someone actually making the mistake of not actually plugging something in, that's real world. Virtual gets you so far.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Real quick, Steve's question. I feel like everyone should get a CCNA. That's just the way redid the CCNA, where it's almost like Network Plus. Yeah,
Oh, they have.
dude, like a whole bunch of the commands,
Mm-hmm.
that's gone.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know
that's
that.
one. Hey, you know how to connect this to this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
hit a switch. You know what a router is used for? Yeah. It's almost like when you take a Network Plus, they ain't gonna tell you what vendor it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From what I'm hearing, the new CCNA, yeah, you got this Cisco switch connected to this Cisco router. How do you set up this and that? They actually just named the stuff, but most of the commands and stuff are gone. So yeah, you can
Wow.
get a CCNA, you can get a Network Plus. They're almost the same now.
Okay. Man, they.
What's his name? David Bumble even talked about that in one of his YouTubes. He was like, yeah, if you got your CCNP, hey, here's your network. Here's the problems that we're having, or here's what we want. And you gotta like go in there and like set everything up. They took a whole bunch of that stuff out.
Yeah, that's
And
not.
they were like, yeah, if you got your CCNP, because you can't brain dump that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go in there and you got to do the work. And they said a whole bunch of the tests is just multiple choice now.
Okay, so do you think that'll lower the, I guess, the prestige, or
But
so to speak, of actually
it,
having a
it,
CCNA?
it,
And,
it depends. Like if
mm,
you got one of the old CCNAs
yeah, it's looked at
and
different.
it's looked at different as opposed to the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you got one of the old CCNPs, it's looked at different. Like I failed miserably. Uh, my last Cisco, not Cisco, Microsoft cert.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was an Azure Microsoft cert, uh, and it was like, hey, we want you to set up this server to be able to pull um, windmill information. Those air windmills. You had to like actually go into like, I want the server to do this, this, is this. It's gonna pull information from these sensors, and then like a couple of questions into it is like, hey, we need to for it to pull out weather database information. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to know if weather makes a difference. And then you had to actually go in there and set everything up. If you get rid of a test where it's just all multiple choice like that, I would rather have a test where you actually have to implement and do the work. And like, hey, you forgot this and this piece. You get this type of grade, but if you get most of your stuff done from real world lab, I would look at that different as opposed to this CAB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that kind of answers Steve's question. He was saying, are they the same value to an employee, CCNA and Network Plus?
Again, fight with the HR department. That CCNA is going to look a whole lot better.
Yeah, it is. Because they don't know what it is. They don't know what, all they know is CCNA is better. They don't
Yeah,
they don't know
and
what you learn when you going through those certs.
and like when you actually talk to the manager, it's like, yeah, man, I got this, that, and the other. Cool. And he brings up a laptop. It's got packet tracer. Hey, I need you to set the let up network to do this, that, and the other. The budget is this, so you can have 3 switches, 4 routers, and a firewall. How are you going to set up? Oh, I'm going to set up an MPLS with this, that, and the other. And you do the work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, okay. I got the right guy. Um, yeah, I haven't actually done that. I don't know how to do that part. Yeah, that dude just knew what piece of equipment needed to be put in place. He doesn't actually know how to implement and put it in work.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Well, we don't have any more questions, or do you have anything else you wanna, kind of shout out anybody, or any more info you think would be
And
beneficial?
I can see the people's faces. I can't think of their I can't think of their names. So I hope they don't like punch me in the mouth when they see me for not giving out a shout out.
Oh nah, it's all good. Yeah, well, we gonna go ahead on and end it, man. I appreciate you guys for coming out and hanging with us. Like I said, I try to, do these shows and bring, different people. And Christian, you can hang out, after, for me if you can, once I
Yeah, I
end the
got a couple of
stream.
questions I need to hit you up.
Okay. And nah, but I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the super chats. Let me go on and go through and call them out again. But Chico MBA, thanks for the $5 super chat. Says keep up the good content. I appreciate you bringing real tech professionals to learn from them. Cheryl Richard, thank you for the super sticker. I definitely appreciate it. And Super Slide, thanks for coming by and blessing the channel with a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate it. But anybody, if nobody has any more questions, so I'm gonna go down end it here. But like I said, I appreciate you guys. I'll be back next week. I have another guest lined up. Still working out the details though, but I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one and keep it techie.